Here's your money briefing for Thursday, May 11th. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal. The summer travel season is almost here, but long delays in getting a passport could derail your plans to travel internationally. WSJ travel reporter Allison Pohle joins us. So, Allison, what's holding up this process, and why has it been going on for so long?
A lot of people are planning to travel internationally this summer, and that means they are renewing their passports or applying for them for the first time. So the State Department says it's seeing an average of 500,000 applications per week, and the number of applications it's received are 30 to 40% higher than they were in 2022. That means there are a lot of people applying, but the department is struggling with staffing issues. So during the pandemic, people were not applying for passports. That meant the department let go of contractors and reassigned other personnel. They're still building back. They're authorizing a ton of overtime, opening up satellite offices, but they're struggling to keep up with demand.
Does this delay apply to new passports and renewals? And what should applicants expect?
If you are applying for routine processing, that means the standard processing, the application will take 10 to 13 weeks to process. And that doesn't include the time that it takes to be mailed back to you, which adds up to 2 weeks.
Wow, 10 to 13 weeks? What's the normal time?
That is the normal time right now, but before the pandemic, it could take 5 to 7 weeks for a routine application. There's also the option to expedite your passport, and right now, expedited renewals are taking 7 to 9 weeks, whereas previously they took 3 to 4 weeks.
So what's the cost involved here to get a passport and to expedite it?
So the cost for a passport book, which is what you'd be using if you were getting on an international flight, is $130. To expedite it, you'll pay an additional $60.
And then for people who've already got their passport, maybe they got it years ago, are they in the clear?
A lot of destinations won't admit you if your passport expires within 6 months, and that's because of different visa issues for how long tourists are allowed to be there. So given the current processing times and these international rules, you should renew your passport 9 months to a year before the expiration date if you don't want to be panicking.
So between all these delays and those built-in expiration date issues, it sounds like there's a lot of planning here that travelers need to do.
There is. And so if you are looking at your passport and realize, oh my gosh, it expires in July or in August, what should I do? Well, you can try to have your passport processed through the urgent travel designation, and that applies to people who are traveling internationally within 9 weeks. They might not have applied yet, and you can call the Passport Information Center and make an appointment to try to move the process along more quickly.
Allison, there are some third-party companies that say they'll expedite the passport process. How reliable are they?
It depends on the company. So some will tell you that they can process the passport on their own on their website without involving the State Department. That is not true. Those companies are a scam, and any company claiming that they can just do it on their own without the State Department's involvement is not reliable. But there are other companies like Rush My Passport, which is a courier service that is registered with the State Department's National Hand Carry Program. And that means they can submit passport applications to approved offices on your behalf if you can't get there yourself.
And we often hear about the Global Entry Program as a service for people who are traveling internationally. What is that, and what does it allow travelers to do?
So when you return from an international trip, you have to go through passport control, where you talk about where you've been, why you're coming into the U.S. if you're a citizen, where you're going after you come back, and then eventually you have to go to customs and talk about anything that you purchased or anything that you're declaring. So global entry allows you to skip those long lines. It's for people who are considered low risk, meaning they don't have a criminal history and they've been approved. But you have to have an interview with a Customs and Border Protection officer before you can be enrolled in the program.
Has that application process also been slowed down?
Yes, a lot of people are applying for this program because they want to skip the line. They don't want to wait for hours after returning from a really long international flight. So again, the staff have been struggling to keep up with demand, and getting an interview has been one of the more challenging parts of this process.
So we have this logjam of high demand and low staffing. Any word as to when we'll start to see things even out and we can get back to what it was before the pandemic?
With the State Department, They are authorizing a ton of overtime. They're working on hiring more people. They're opening satellite offices, so they have assured everyone that they are working on staffing up. But the best thing you can do if you have a trip coming up this year is to expedite your passport, or if you've missed the window of 7 to 9 weeks, look into the urgent travel designation to make sure you can get your passport on time.
Or maybe plan your vacation to be inside the good old USA.
That is also a great option if it's too late.
That's Wall Street Journal travel reporter Allison Pohle. And that's your Money Briefing. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal.